once killed a man.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most controversial Oscar winners. For this list, we'll be looking at the most scandalous or talked about Academy Award recipients. What's your favourite Oscar moment? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, Bohemian Rhapsody wins Best Film Editing, 91st Academy Awards. Given this biopic's troubled production, it's impressive that editor John Ottman managed to stitch together a coherent film at all.
I study design here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Also, write songs. Might be of interest to you.
But that excuse didn't hold up when the film won the Academy Award for Best Film Editing. Immediately, angry fans pointed out the movie's noticeably rough transitions and pacing, including the particularly infamous scene where Freddie meets with his eventual manager.
I can get you on television.
Top of the Pops.
Hopefully.
And then?
And then, it's only the biggest television program in the country. No one's ever even heard of you.
While most of the movie is solid enough, the strained edit job is hard to ignore, a sentiment that even Ottman himself has admitted. He blames studio interference for the final product. But either way, the Oscar is still in his hands, whether it's deserved or not.
We'll want more.
Every band wants more.
Every band's not Queen.
Number 9, Green Book wins Best Picture, 91st Academy Awards. Long before Oscar nominations were even announced, this biographical drama faced serious heat for its white gaze and misrepresented narrative.
I ain't worried about nothing. In fact, when you see me worried, you'll know.
Tony,
You'll know if I'm worried.
how about some quiet time?
To make matters worse, it was even condemned by the surviving family of the real-life inspiration Don Shirley. Green Book couldn't turn over a new page by the time awards season began, so its surprise nomination for Best Picture had many up in arms.
They got a problem with how long they can call me Tony Lip.
These are genteel people. Tony the Lip may be a little worldly for them.
Its eventual win felt especially tasteless, given the strong slate of Best Picture nominees that year. The lineup included the likes of Roma and Black Klansman, both movies that arguably outdo Green Book, but don't have a Best Picture win to prove it.
Merry Christmas.
Oh,
Come on. Make some room. Get this man a plate.
Number 8, Life of Pi wins Best Cinematography, 85th Academy Awards. At 11 Oscar nominations, this film's artistic merits can't be argued.
The one with the tiger. That's the better story.
But of all its deserved acclaim, its success in the cinematography category caused some raised eyebrows. Both fans and industry veterans were quick to point out that Life of Pi's sweeping visuals were almost entirely visual effects. Yet another Academy Award the film took home that night.
Spectacle. Don't let these stories and pretty lights fool you.
It sparked a large debate about the ever-blurring line between the two art forms, and whether it was still fair to judge them independently. The discussion continues to rage on, since the two categories are still separated years later. The Academy's stance seems loud and clear.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Number 7, Marissa Tomei wins Best Supporting Actress for My Cousin Vinny, 65th Academy Awards. In 1993, a whole lot of Oscar pundits probably lost their bet on this one.
Well, I don't get it. What does getting to Trotter's files have anything to do with hunting?
While Marissa Tomei's masterful comedic timing made her a total scene stealer in My Cousin Vinny, she wasn't the favourite going into the Oscars, not by a long shot. Tomei wasn't even nominated for the Golden Globes or the BAFTAs, and yet she rose above both in completely stunning upset.
Well, it's a lot of procedure, that's all. I mean, I'll learn it as I go.
Learn as you go?
Yeah.
Didn't they teach that in law school?
In fact, it was so surprising that it caused rampant conspiracy theories suggesting Tomei's name had been mistakenly called. While that had to be hurtful at the time, Tomei would later joke about it. Over 30 years later, she can hold her head high and stand proud in still having her Academy Award.
What?
Nothing. You stick out like a sore thumb around here.
Me? What about you?
I fit in better than you.
Number 6, Crash wins Best Picture, 78th Academy Awards. Ironically, Crash is exactly what this film did after making off with 3 Oscars.
You embarrass me. You embarrass yourself.
While the morally complex tale certainly has its moments, even contemporary reviewers noted its surface-level commentary. Modern consensus has been even less kind, and Crash consistently ranks among one of the worst Best Picture winners of all time.
Something else funny? Oh yeah. Yeah, what's that? People, man. People.
Although, in its defense, the enduring scandal has more to do with the film that didn't win. To this day, many suspect that Crash was the safe vote compared to Brokeback Mountain's LGBT storyline. That was seemingly proven when, in 2015, The Hollywood Reporter held a hypothetical revote with hundreds of Academy voters. That time around, Brokeback Mountain came out on top.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Number 5, Will Smith wins Best Actor for King Richard, 94th Academy Awards. It's safe to say the slap heard around the world will never be forgotten, for better or for worse.
Turn now to the Oscars here at home and the slap that is still reverberating through the entertainment world and beyond. The Academy moving ahead with disciplinary proceedings against Will Smith for hitting Chris Rock at Sunday's ceremony.
It's a real shame, since going into the evening, Will Smith was set to be remembered for his outstanding turn in King Richard. In the end, his actual win wasn't all that surprising compared to the shocker of the evening.
You should have seen Venus out there today. Just something done clicked in her mind. She is so ready.
Suddenly, Smith, his palm, and his Oscar were at the centre of a media storm. In a public apology the next day, Smith called his actions inexcusable and accepted his decade-long ban from future Academy events.
Nobody give a damn about your own boy. Nobody.
Number 4, How Green Was My Valley wins Outstanding Motion Picture, 14th Academy Awards. Of the frontrunners to win Best Picture in 1942, one of them is still hailed as a cinematic masterpiece. The other is Nearly Lost to Time. Can you guess which one big? Despite what hindsight has to say, How Green Was My Valley beat out Citizen Kane for the night's big award, as well as for Best Director and Best Cinematography in black and white. To be fair, the former isn't a bad film by any stretch of the word, but it just hasn't had the same staying power of its main competitor.
Strange that the mind will forget so much of what only this moment is past, and yet hold clear and bright the memory of what happened years ago, of men and women long since dead.
So, as tragic as it is, How Green Was My Valley is still mostly remembered for being the movie that robbed a bona fide classic of its rightful trophy. Though, clearly, Citizen Kane didn't need the boost to be cemented in film history.
I can remember absolutely everything, young man. That's my curse. That's one of the greatest curses ever inflicted on the human race, memory.
Number 3, Marlon Brando wins Best Actor for The Godfather, 45th Academy Awards. In the entire recorded history of the Oscars, there have only been a small handful of actors who have refused an award.
It's too late. They start shooting in a week.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
One of them was Marlon Brando. Except, he didn't just refute the trophy, he failed to show up to the ceremony at all. In his place, he had activist Sacheen Littlefeather read a statement on Brando's behalf about the treatment of Native Americans in storytelling.
And I'm going to blame some of the people in this room. And that I do not forgive.
At least Brando had good company, since his co-star Al Pacino also boycotted the ceremony due to his submission as a supporting actor instead of a lead. Even though 2 of its nominees didn't show, The Godfather still went home with plenty of worthwhile accolades.
Fredo, you're my older brother, and I love you. But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again.
Number 2, Shakespeare in Love wins Best Picture, 71st Academy Awards. For the most part, the Academy tends to be rather liberal with its win distribution, which is why it's surprising when a film like Shakespeare in Love leaves with 7 trophies under its belt.
And my Henry VI was a house built on his foundations.
You never spoke so well of him.
He was not dead before.
It was in some major categories too, like Best Actress, Best Original Screenplay, and most controversially, Best Picture. While there's certainly an argument to be made that comedy-leaning films aren't given a fair shake, it's hard to deny that Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan deserved the win.
No, sir, that's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying it seems like an unnecessary risk given our objective, sir.
Our objective is to win the war.
Some theorise that the marketing blitz around Shakespeare in Love gave it an unwarranted edge with voters. It may have worked back then, but it definitely hasn't convinced modern audiences.
I'm done with theatre. The Playhouse is for dreamers. Look what the dream brought us.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Roman Polanski wins Best Director for The Pianist, 75th Academy Awards. Technically, the Best Director of 2003 didn't even attend the Oscars, not out of protest, but because Roman Polanski couldn't risk entering the country at all.
There's no time for
I'm not
this.
going anywhere.
Good. I'm not going anywhere either.
In 1977, he pleaded guilty to some very serious crimes, but fled before he could be officially convicted. That didn't stop him from making films though. 2002's The Pianist earned him widespread acclaim, an Oscar win, and even a standing ovation by the attending audience, all for someone who couldn't even legally attend the ceremony.
They don't give a damn about people suffering.
You blame me for their apathy, right?
I do, because I see it every day. They don't even notice what's going on around them.
It's difficult to find any justification for Polanski's win, and even though the Academy booted him in 2018, many viewers felt like it was too little, too late.
If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.